Welcome to another GED Math video from ultimateged.com. In this video, we will be looking at 25 practice test questions. Please try every question and ask questions if you need further clarification. You can also get our full GED Math course at ultimateged.com. We are here to help you pass. Okay, let's dive in. A bag contains 8 red marbles, 6 blue marbles, and 4 green marbles. If a marble is chosen at random, what is the probability that it is blue? This is a very simple probability question. The probability of choosing a blue marble will be the number of blue marbles over the total number of marbles. Here, we have 6 blue marbles. We divide it by the total, which is 8 plus 6 plus 4. This will give us 18. We can reduce this. 6 divided by 6 is 1, and 18 divided by 6 is 3. So the probability of choosing a blue marble is 1 over 3. Question 2. A rectangular plot of land has a length that is 3 times its width. The perimeter of the plot is 320 meters. What are the dimensions of the plot in meters? If fencing costs $5 per meter, what will be the cost of fencing the plot of land? Please don't let word problems scare you. We are here to help you master it. Just keep watching our videos. This is a 2-in-1 question. Let's solve the first part. Find the dimensions of the plot. The perimeter of a rectangle is twice the length, plus twice the width. This formula will be given to you. Here, we are told that the perimeter is 320. So we have 2L plus 2W equals 320. Let's call this equation 1. We are using L to represent the length of the plot, and W to represent its width. We also know that the length is 3 times the width. So we have L equals 3W. Let's call this equation 2. We can replace the L in equation 1 with 3W, since we know L equals 3W. We have 2 times 3W plus 2W equals 320. 2 times 3W is 6W. Plus 2W will give 8W. So we have 8W equals 320. Divide both sides by 8. The 8 will cancel out. 320 divided by 8 is 40. So we have width to be 40 meters. To find the length, we can replace W in equation 2 with 40. We have L equals 3 times 40. 3 times 40 is 120. So the length is 120 meters. The dimensions of the plot are 120 meters by 40 meters. Now let's look at the second part of the question. What will be the cost of fencing the plot? A fence goes around the outer part of a plot, which is the same as the perimeter. So the cost of fencing the plot will be the perimeter times the cost per meter. The perimeter has been given as 320. The cost per meter is $5. We just multiply 320 times 5. This will give us 1,600. So the cost of fencing the plot of land is $1,600. Question 3. A rectangular room has a length of 10 feet, a width of 8 feet, and a height of 12 feet. If the room is completely filled with boxes, each of which has a volume of 2 cubic feet, how many boxes are in the room? Please note that a rectangular room really means the floor plan is rectangular. In actual sense, a rectangle is 2-dimensional, so it should not have 3 dimensions. Okay, let's solve the question. When you have a word problem, it's always important to try and picture what the problem is about. It's even better if you can draw a diagram for it. So here is my diagram. To solve this problem, you need to first find the volume of the room. The volume of the room can be found by multiplying its length, width, and height. This formula will be given, but it's simple enough to just memorize. We have been given all these values, so we just put them into the formula. Volume of room equals 10 feet times 8 feet times 12 feet. The volume of room is therefore 960 cubic feet. Now let's find the number of boxes in the room. We just divide that volume of the room by the volume of each box. We found the volume of the room as 960. The volume of each box is given as 2 cubic feet. Therefore, the total number of boxes in the room is 960 cubic feet over 2 cubic feet. 960 divided by 2 is 480. So there are 480 boxes in the room. Question 4. Simplify the polynomial expression 2x cubed plus 4x squared minus 5x squared minus 6x cubed plus 3x. To simplify this, all we are doing is grouping like terms and performing the required operation on it. Like terms should have the same variable and exponent. So we group all the cubed terms. We have 2x cubed minus 6x cubed. 2 minus 6 is negative 4. So we have negative 4x cubed. Next, we group the squared terms. We have 4x squared minus 5x squared. This will give us negative 1x squared, which is the same as negative x squared. Then finally we have 3x. So the simplified form of the expression is negative 4x cubed minus x squared plus 3x. Question 5. What is the equation of a line that has a slope of 3 and passes through the point 45? This question by itself is not conclusive. There are various forms of the equation of a line. We are going to find the slope-intercept form of the equation of a line. In this question, we have been given a point and a slope. So we will start with the point-slope form of the equation of a line. This formula will be given, so no need to memorize it. In this formula, m is our slope. x1, y1 is the point on the line. Let's name our point x1, y1. M is our slope, so m is 3. Now we put our values in the formula. We have y minus 5 equals 3 times x minus 4. To make this into the slope-intercept equation, we will solve for y, or make y the subject. Let's start by expanding this. 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times minus 4 is minus 12. We have y minus 5 equals 3x minus 12. To get the y by itself, we will add 5 to both sides. The 5 will cancel out. Negative 12 plus 5 is negative 7. So the equation of the line is y equals 3x minus 7. Question 6. Given the function f of x equals 2x squared plus 3, find f of negative 2. To find f of negative 2, we need to substitute negative 2 for x in the function. Wherever you see x, just replace it with negative 2. So we have f of negative 2 equals 2 times negative 2 squared plus 3. Please be very careful when substituting a negative number. I always put it in parentheses. This is to make sure the negative is also squared. Now we will use the order of operation to get the answer. If you're not familiar with the order of operations, please check the links below this video and watch it. From the order of operations, we will have to do the negative 2 squared first. Negative 2 squared is 4. So we have f of negative 2 equals 2 times 4 plus 3. Next, from the order of operations, we will do the multiplication by 2. 2 times 4 is 8. So we have f of negative 2 equals 8 plus 3. Then finally, we will add 8 to 3. This will give 11 as our answer. Let's look at a common twist to this type of function question. Question 6b. Given the function f of x equals 2x squared plus 3, find x when f of x is 11. This is basically the same question. Here, you are rather given the f of x value. A lot of students assume this is the x value. So here, we will replace the f of x with 11. We have 11 equals 2x squared plus 3. Now we will solve for x. Please, if you're not familiar with solving equations, check the links in the description and watch the video. It's extremely important you master how to solve equations. We want to get the x by itself. We will first subtract 3 from both sides. The 3 will cancel out. 11 minus 3 is 8. So we have 8 equals 2x squared. Next, we will divide both sides by 2. The 2 will cancel out. 8 divided by 2 is 4. We have 4 equals x squared. Finally, to get the x by itself, we will find the square root of both sides. The squared root will cancel the squared. Square root of 4 is 2. In a lower level math class, you can say that x equals 2 and you are done. In actual sense, squared root of 4 can be negative 2 or 2. This is because negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. Also, 2 times 2 is 4. So, x equals 2 or x equals negative 2. So, in a test, you are looking for 2 or negative 2 in your answer choices. Please don't stress too much on the negative 2 or 2 answer we just did. You can watch our video on quadratic equations for a better understanding. Question 7. A car rental company charges $25 per day plus 20 cents per mile driven. If a customer rents a car for 5 days and drives 500 miles, how much will they be charged? In order to pass any standard math test, you have to embrace word problems. The best way to master word problems is by solving a lot of them. We are here to help you master this. Just keep watching our videos. Okay, let's solve the question. There are 2 charges here. The charge for the number of days and the charge for the mileage. So the total cost of renting the car is the sum of the daily charges and the mileage charge. The daily charge is $25 per day, and the customer rented the car for 5 days. So the total daily charge is $25 times 5 days. This will give us $125. The mileage charge is 20 cents per mile driven, and the customer drove 500 miles. 20 cents is the same as $0.20. So the mileage charge equals $0.20 times 500 miles. This will be $100. We know the total cost is the sum of the daily charge and the mileage charge. So we have $125 plus $100. We add this to get $225 as our answer. Therefore, the customer will be charged $225 for renting the car for 5 days and driving 500 miles. Question 8. Find the slope of a line that passes through the point 25 and the point 69. To find the slope of a line given 2 points, we will use the slope formula. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Formulas are given on most tests, so don't worry too much about it. Please note that you can call any of the point 1 or 2. I'm choosing this as 1 and this as 2. When you have a point, the first value is your x, and the second value is your y. Since we are calling this point 1, we will have x1, y1 here. Same thing for this. Since we are calling this our point 2, we can call this x2, y2. We just put the values into the formula. We have 9, which is y2, minus 5, which is y1, divided by 6, which is x2, minus 2, which is x1. We simplify. 9 minus 5 is 4, over 6 minus 2, which is also 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So the slope is 1. Question 9. A company charges a flat rate for installation of a product, plus $3 per month for a maintenance plan. If the total cost after 8 months is $74, what was the cost of installation? We really want you to become used to word problems. The more you practice, the better you become. The company charges a flat rate for installation and $3 monthly fee for maintenance. The total cost after 8 months will be the cost of installation, plus the cost of maintenance plan for 8 months. The total cost has been given as $74. We don't know the initial installation cost. Let's represent it with X. The maintenance plan for 8 months will be the cost per month, which is 3 months, times the number of months, which is 8 months. We multiply this to get 24. Now we have 74 equals X plus 24. We solve for X, one-step equation. Subtract 24 from both sides. The 24 will cancel out. 74 minus 24 is 50. So the cost for installation is $50. Question 10. Find the area of the triangle below. Please, you have to be very familiar with finding the area and perimeter of plane figures. In most tests, the formula will be given to you. Your work is to apply it correctly. Area of a triangle is half times the base times the perpendicular height. Or we can also say it's the base times perpendicular height divided by 2. Here, the base is 5 meters. The height is 12 meters. The area is 5 times 12 divided by 2. 5 times 12 is 60. Divided by 2 is 30. So the area of the triangle is 30 meters squared. Question 11. What is the value of the expression 3x squared plus 3x plus 2y when x equals 4 and y equals 5? In this expression, the value of x is 4. Hence, all the x in the expression are to be replaced with 4. Also, the value of y is given as 5. Hence, anywhere that there is y, we have to replace it with 5. Therefore, we can have 3 times 4 squared plus 3 times 4 plus 2 times 5. By order of operation, we have to perform the exponent first. 4 squared, which is 4 times 4, is 16. Now we have 3 times 16 plus 3 times 4 plus 2 times 5. 3 multiplied by 16 is 48, 3 by 4 is 12, and 2 by 5 is 10. We add 48 plus 12 plus 10. This will give us 70 as the value of the expression. Question 12. Solve for x when 2 of x plus 5 is equal to 12 minus x. This is an equation, and we need to find the value of x that satisfies the equation. By order of operation, 2 of x plus 5 needs to be expanded. And to do that, 2 has to multiply each term in the parenthesis. So we have 2 multiplied by x to be 2x, and 2 multiplied by 5 to be 10. This equals 12 minus x. Now to find x, we can subtract 10 from the constant of both sides. At the left side of the equation, negative 10 will cancel 10, leaving 2x. And at the right side of the equation 12 minus 10 is 2. Minus x. To find x by itself, we add x to both sides of the equation. At the left side, 2x plus x is 3x, and at the left side, positive x will cancel negative x, remaining 2. Now we can divide both sides by the coefficient of x, which is 3. 3 will cancel 3, leaving x equals 2 out of 3. Question 13. Consider the following set of data representing the number of hours per week that 10 different people spend exercising. 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 15, and 20. What is the median of this data set? What is the range of this data set? First, we will look at finding the median of a set of data. To find the median of a given set of data, the data has to be arranged from lowest to highest. The median is the middle number when the numbers are arranged. For an odd number, you'll get a single number in the middle, so that will be your median. In the case of an even number, like our question, there will be 2 middle numbers. The median is the sum of the two middle numbers divided by 2. The set of data given in our question are 10 in number and the middle numbers are 9 and 10. Hence the median will be 9 plus 10 all divided by 2. 9 plus 10 equals 19. 19 divided by 2 will give 9.5 as the median. Now let's look at the B part of question 13. That is, what is the range of this data set? The range of a set of data is the highest value of the set minus the lowest value. With the set of data given, the highest value is 20 and the lowest value is 4. Hence, 20 minus 4, and that gives us 16 as the range. Question 14. A recipe calls for 2/3 cups of sugar to make 12 cookies. How much sugar is needed to make 36 cookies? To pass any standard test, you have to be very familiar with word problems. Considering our question, we are given that 2/3 cups of sugar make 12 cookies. If 2/3 cups of sugar makes 12 cookies, then we can represent the cups of sugar needed to make 36 cookies as x equals 36. After setting up, we will cross-multiply. X will multiply 12, and 36 will multiply 2/3. 12 by x is 12x. With 36 multiplied by 2 divided by 3, 3 goes into itself once but into 36, 12 times. This leaves us with 12 times 2, which is 24. Now to find x, divide both sides of the equation by the coefficient of x, which is 12. 12 will cancel 12 at the left side of the equation. 24 divided by 12 is 2. Therefore, x, which is the cups of sugar needed to make 36 cookies, is 2. Question 15. Find the greatest common factor of 4x squared plus 2x and 8x plus 4. To find the greatest common factor of two polynomials, we need to factor each polynomial and then identify the common factors. For 4x squared plus 2x, we can factor 2 out because 2 can divide both 4 and 2 without a remainder. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. For the x, we factor out the x with the smallest exponent, in this case x exponent 1. What will be left is x for this one. We have a detailed video about factoring and factorization. Please use the link below to check it out for a clearer understanding. We do the same kind of factorization for the 8x plus 4. We can factor 4 out because 4 can divide both numbers without a remainder. 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 4 divided by 4 is 1. We cannot factor the x, so we leave it here. Finally, we can see that 2x plus 1 is common to both polynomials. That will be the greatest common factor. So the GCF is 2x plus 1. Question 16. A student's average score on 4 tests is 85. What does the student need to score on the 5th test to raise their average to 90? This is a typical average or mean question. The average score is the total score over the number of tests taken. For the 4 test, we have been given the average as 85. The number of tests taken is 4. We can find the total score. Multiply both sides by 4. The 4 will cancel out. 4 times 85 is 340. So the total score for the 4 tests is 340. Average of the 5 tests is total scores of all 5 tests divided by the number of tests taken. We know the total for 4 of the test, which is 340. Let's represent the score for the 5th test by x. So the average of the tests, which has been given as 90, will be equal to the sum of the 4 tests, which is 340, plus the 5th test, which is x, divided by the number of tests taken, which we know is 5. Now we solve for x to know the score of the 5th test. Multiply both sides by the denominator, which is 5. 5 will cancel 5, leaving 340 plus x. When we multiply 90 by 5, we will get 450. To find x, we need to subtract 340 from both sides. When we subtract 340 from 340 plus x, negative 340 will cancel 340, leaving x. Again, when we subtract 340 from 450, we will get 110. Therefore, the student need to score 110 in the fifth test to raise the average to 90. Question 17. A rectangle has a length of 12 inches and a width of 8 inches. A right triangle has a base of 8 inches and a height of 6 inches. If the triangle is placed inside the rectangle as shown below, what is the area of the shaded region? To know the area of the shaded region, we have to first know the area of the rectangle, and also the area of the triangle. The area of a rectangle is length times width. Our length is given as 12 and width 8. And that gives us 12 times 8. 12 multiplied by 8 is 96. Since the unit is in inches and we are finding area, we will get 96 inches squared as the area for the rectangle. Now let's also look at the area of the triangle, and that is half times base times height. With the diagram given, the base of our triangle is 8 and the height is 6. So we can have half multiplied by the base, which is 8 times the height, which is 6. 2 goes into itself once, but into 8 4 times. And this gives us 4 times 6, which is 24 inches squared. Now the area of the shaded region will be the area of the rectangle minus the area of the triangle. With the area of the rectangle, we had 96. And with the area of the triangle, we got 24. 96 minus 24 gives us 72. Hence the area of the shaded region is 72 inches squared. Question 18. The pie chart below shows the distribution of a company's expenses for the month of January. If the total expenses for the month of January were $50,000, how much did the company spend on repairs? With the information given, the total expenditure of the company in January is $50,000. From the pie chart, we are also given that 50% of the total expenditure was on repairs. To find the amount spent on repairs, we multiply the percentage of repairs with the total expenses. Hence, 50%, which is the same as 50 divided by 100, multiplied by the total expenditure, which is $50,000. To simplify this, 100 goes into itself once, but into 50,500 times. This leaves us with 50 times 500, which is 25,000. This implies that the company spent $25,000 on repairs out of the total expenditure of $50,000. Question 19. A rectangular garden is 8 feet wide and 12 feet long. If a 2-foot wide walkway is added around the garden, what is the area of the walkway? For word problems of this kind, it is always good to draw a diagram to help you picture what's going on and solve it correctly. Draw a rectangle to represent the garden. The width of it is 8 feet and length is 12 feet. Draw another rectangle around the first rectangle to represent the 2 feet walkway added around the garden. Note that the walkway was created 2 feet around the garden. This implies that 2 feet walkway is added to the left and to the right side of the length of the garden. Now to get the length of the garden plus the walkway, add the 2 plus 12 plus 2 together. And by doing that, the length of the garden plus the walkway will be 16 feet. The same way, 2 feet walkway is added to the top and to the bottom side of the width of the garden. Hence, the width of the garden plus the walkway is 2 plus 8 plus 2, which is 12 feet. To find the area of the walkway, first we have to know the area of the garden. Since the garden is rectangular, the area of the garden is equal to length times width. The length is 12 multiplied by the width, which is 8. Multiply 12 by 8, and that will give us 96 feet squared. We have to also know the area of the garden plus the walkway. This is also a rectangle. So we have length times width. The length of the garden plus walkway is 16. The width of the garden plus walkway is 12. Multiplying 16 by 12, we will get 192 feet square as the area of the garden plus the walkway. Now the area of the walkway alone is equal to the area of the garden plus the walkway, minus area of the garden. Substitute the value for the area of the garden plus the walkway, which is 192, and the area of the garden, which is 96. Subtract 96 from 192, and this will give 96 feet squared as the area of the walkway. Question 20. A cylindrical tank has a height of 10 meters and a diameter of 6 meters. The tank is filled with water up to a height of 8 meters. What is the volume of the water in the tank? Let's have a pictorial representation of the information given. Taking this as our cylinder. The height given is 10 meters and the diameter is 6 meters. The water is only filled to 8 meters of the height of the cylindrical tank. Note that liquids take the shape of the container in which they fill. So the diameter of the water will be the same as that of the cylindrical tank, which is 6 meters. The formula for finding the volume of the water is pi r squared h. Pi is a constant and it will be given to you on a test. It is 3.14. We know the height as 8 meters. We don't know the radius. However, we have been given the diameter of the cylinder as 6 meters. Radius is diameter divided by 2. So the radius is 6 over 2, which is 3. Substituting the values, we have 3.14 times 3 squared times 8. By order of operation, we have to work on the 3 squared first. 3 squared is 9. This gives us 3.14 times 9 times 8. To get the volume of the water, we multiply 3.14 by 9 and by 8. And this gives us 226.08 meter cube as the volume of the water. Question 21. Determine the x-intercept of the line with equation y equals negative 2x plus 6. When an equation of a line is given, you can be asked to find x or y-intercept. To find the x-intercept, put y equals 0, and to find the y-intercept, put x equals 0. We have the equation of the line to be y equals negative 2x plus 6. We are to find x-intercept, and as we have come to know that at the x-intercept, replace y with 0 in the equation, and this will give us 0 equals negative 2x plus 6. By order of operation, subtract 6 from both sides of the equation. At the right-hand side, negative 6 will cancel 6, leaving negative 2x. And at the left-hand side, 0 minus 6 will give us negative 6. Now we have negative 6 equals negative 2x. To find x by itself, divide both sides by the coefficient of x, which is negative 2. So at the right-hand side, the negative 2's will cancel each other, leaving x. Also, at the right-hand side, the negative 2 can go into itself once, but goes into negative 6 3 times. Now we have 3 equals x. This implies that our x-intercept is equal to 3. Please encourage us to post more videos by liking this video. We can only post more if we know we are helping. Thank you. Question 22. In triangle ABC, angles A and B have measures of 35 degrees and 75 degrees, respectively. Find the measure of angle C. With question of this kind, it's always good to have a pictorial view of the information given. Draw a triangle ABC. The angle of A is given as 35 degrees, and the angle of B is 75 degrees. Since angle C is not given and we are to find, put angle C to be x. Now, the sum of the interior angles of a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. Hence, add angle A, B, and C, and equate it to 180 degrees. But angle A is 35, B is 75, and angle C is x. Replace them, and this will give us 35 plus 75 plus x equals 180. by order of operation at the left-hand side of the equation. Add the like terms, which is 35 and 75. This will give us 110 plus x equal to 180. To find x by itself, subtract 110 from both sides of the equation. At the left-hand side, negative 110 will cancel 110 leaving x. At the right-hand side, subtract 110 from 180 and that will be 70. This means that x, which is angle C, is equal to 70 degrees. Question 23. A line graph shows the sales of a product over 5 days. On day 1, the sales were 40 units, and they increased by 10 units each day. What were the total sales for the 5-day period? To know the sales made for all the 5 days, first, we have to know the sales units for each of the days. And after that, we add all the sales units. Since the number of days were 5, number from 1 to 5 to represent the days. Now with the sales units, we are given that, on day 1, the sales were 40. But from day 2 to 5, the sales units increased by 10 units each day. So for day 2, add 10 to the sales unit of day 1, which is 40 plus 10, and that will be 50. The same way, on day 3 too, the sales increased by 10 units. So add 10 to the second day's sales, which is 50 plus 10 equals 60. Likewise, add 10 to the 60 units for day 4, which is 60 plus 10 equals 70. Lastly, also increase the sales unit for day 4 by 10. That's 70 plus 10 equals 80. Now since we have the sales units for each day, put all the sales units together to get the total, which is 40 plus 50 plus 60 plus 70 plus 80, and that equals 300 units. Hence, the total sales units for the 5 days period is 300 units. Question 24. Solve the inequality negative 3 times 2x plus 4 less than or equal to 12. Inequalities are always simple to work by following the order of operations in solving mathematical equations. We have negative 3 times 2x plus 4 less than or equal to 12. By order of operation, expand the parenthesis. Use the negative 3 to multiply each of the terms in the parenthesis. Multiply negative 3 by 2x, and that will be negative 6x. Also, multiply the negative 3 by 4, and that is negative 12. Less than or equal to 12. Now add 12 to both sides of the equation. At the left-hand side, the negative 12 will cancel the positive 12, leaving only negative 6x. And at the right-hand side, 12 plus 12 is 24. To find x by itself, divide both sides of the equation by the coefficient of x, which is negative 6. At the left-hand side, divide the negative 6x with negative 6. The negative 6 will cancel each other, leaving x alone. Also, at the right-hand side, divide the 24 by negative 6. Note that anytime you divide through by a negative number, the inequality's symbol changes. If it is greater than, it will change to less than. The same way, if it is less, then it will change to greater than. Now, by dividing the 24 by negative 6, the less than or equal to sign will change to greater than or equal to 24 divided by negative 6. Simplify 24 divided by negative 6. Negative 6 goes into itself once, but goes into 24 4 times. This leaves us with x is greater than or equal to negative 4. This means, to satisfy the inequality, replace x with negative 4 or any number that is greater than negative 4. Question 25. Given a parallelogram with a base of 10 centimeters and a height of 5 centimeters, calculate the area. First, draw a parallelogram ABCD. We are given that the base is 10 centimeters and the height is 5 centimeters. Area of a parallelogram is base times height. Our base is 10 centimeters and the height is 5 centimeters. Replace the values for the base and the height, which is 10 centimeters times 5 centimeters. Multiply 10 centimeters by 5 centimeters, and that will be 50 centimeters squared. Therefore, the area of the parallelogram with base of 10 and height 5 is 50 centimeters squared. We will end this video here. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and watch our other videos. The more questions you solve or videos you watch, the better your math will be. See you in the next video.